All right, we are live.
What's good, everyone? Welcome back to the
Hey,
Bias Cut.
hello, governors.
Hello, governors. Welcome
So
back to the
this is
Bias Cut.
the bias cut show about two uncool fashion people talk about clothes and stuff. You know what I mean? And if you don't know, we do the show live every Thursday, 8 p.m. on YouTube. We've got people chatting already. We've got an early incoming question from the crowd. So if you're not here live, you should be next time. Uh,
Yeah,
Suchio wants to know, what hoops do I have to jump through for Christian's approval?
so much, dude. I don't even know where to begin.
Are they flaming
Uh,
hoops?
yeah, I'm gonna have to see a video of you jumping through flaming hoops, and I want to see some effort in it. Like if I see you jumping through the hoops and you're like a regular Simone Biles, that's not interesting. What I need
Right.
to see
Yeah.
is effort and personal growth, the hero's journey, all
Uh-huh.
sorts of
Uh-huh.
stuff. Big chunky K. The
Yeah.
first thing I think we should talk about
Mm-hmm.
was our meetup episode. So for anybody listening and watching, um, I don't know who Killian is. I never met him. He's just a dude on the internet. I just get a random link to join a podcast every Thursday
Right.
and I jump on. I don't know this guy. We never met
Literally,
until.
like we joke on this show. People probably don't believe us for some things we say, especially early on in the show when we're bigging ourselves up. We had never met. I'm gonna assume most people watching thought we knew each other quite well, but we had never met in person until this past Sunday.
That's right. The meetup happened. Pull that picture
It
up. Pull it
happened
up. Dang.
right there. The proof. We got a picture of me and Christian outside my home. I was gonna say a
Mhm.
lovely home, but that's for Christian to say.
I think it was very nice, honestly. It was beautiful in there. Like the
Don't lie.
paint colors,
That
the
sounds so passive aggressive. Like, the paint. Yeah,
yeah,
good.
exactly. It's like in 30 Rock, where has to like hype up Jenna Maroney's like one man plays, and she says like, "I loved the lighting."
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. Um, but I was driving cross country, and I won't say where, but I stopped in a particular state, in a particular town, just regular
Mhm.
ass crack USA.
Mhm.
And who might I find but Killian?
Just
Killian
bumped into each other. Yeah, not planned at all.
bumped
Yep.
we dropped all of our papers that we were carrying. Killian, I actually, when I was leaving,
Yeah.
I drove around the corner
Mhm.
and there is a boutique very close to your apartment. I
Yes.
think it's called something like chocolate love or something.
It
I know
sounds right.
chocolate's in it.
Yeah.
How much do you shop there?
So in all honesty, I feel terrible. I've never been inside, but they often put bootleg Gucci and Louis Vuitton in the windows, and I
Oh
often
yeah.
because it's right across from the post office, so I like walk past it very regularly. So I'll like just look in the windows, and I'm always admiring those beautiful, beautiful bootlegs. You know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. I was in the dollar store today buying
Mhm.
like a tin for like cooking,
Okay.
like the disposable ones, and they had sandals for like $1 that
Mhm.
said Gucci with one C, and it's like
Yes.
I don't
Yes.
know, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I don't know why you made such a horrible knockoff.
Listen,
Like
careers
who
are built on these things,
who
okay?
would
The
buy it?
Dapper Dan sees the value here.
I don't think so. I don't think Dapper Dan and wants anything to do with that.
No,
But
he's not buying any 1C Gucci sandals. That's fair.
it was a delightful meetup. I
Mhm,
got to
mhm.
see Killian's humble home. I got to see how the sausage is made, and
Mhm.
kind of like FDR, during like World War II.
Right.
Killian is in a wheelchair and he never shows it. But
Yes.
I learned that when I met him. Pay
So
no attention to that picture.
we've got two questions here, okay, that
Okay.
I think kind of go together. One person asks who took the picture. Another person asks who had the longer Johnson, and it was
Right here.
neither of the people in the picture.
Oh. Does that answer both questions?
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Listen, my penis was longer. Okay,
Oh
guys.
no. Well,
It was like,
you didn't have to flex with the sweatpants, okay?
yeah, exactly. I would reference, never mind. What was the most surprising thing about meeting me?
Um, let's see. Your partner, in all honesty, lovely person. And it's one of those things where it's like you expect to meet somebody's significant other, and you kind of expect like a copy of them.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, this is like yin and yang, fire and ice. You know what I mean? Yeah,
Yes.
I could see the interplay there, and I liked it.
Yeah. Caroline is the opposite of me. For example, employed, advanced degree, woman.
By the way, just so nobody gets the wrong idea, I was joking earlier. I was playing into the fact that everyone thinks we're both gay. But I was not trying to be rude.
What? Wait, what? Wait,
What?
So
gay?
we should spend some time talking about fashion. I feel like the show is so wacky crazy recently. You want to talk about our fits? I'm gonna throw that out there. Today,
absolutely. Do it. Hit it. I want to know.
I'm saying it. I'm wearing a St. James striped shirt. It's the original striped shirt. A good old friend of mine got this in Gay Paris, and I try to keep some visual intrigue because I realize I just wear like a black sweatshirt.
So I need you to really show the people, because I don't think they're going to believe you. Obviously, they know that we're the #1 podcast. We're the first fashion podcast, and those things are both true. But that really is from the lineage of the first striped shirt.
Yes. Yeah. St. James, apparently they made the original striped shirts for the French Navy in olden times. And it's like it's a dope as a rope shirt. But for anybody watching, I'm wearing like a regular shirt. Killian's wearing a fur coat.
I'm wearing a fur coat.
You want to get into that? I
picked this up at the thrift store. It's a rabbit fur coat. I've been slowly trying to. I think it was cool to begin with. Rabbit fur coat is just wild, but it has the cut of a. It clearly came out of an elderly woman's, maybe like a diplomat's wife.
Definitely closet, or like Bruce Wayne's mom.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. The dead one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to make it cooler. I'm like adding leather things to lengthen the arms. I'm trying to do some stuff to it, but I like it. I like an ostentatious coat.
Yeah.
A capacious coat.
You know what I just realized? You're like Macklemore right now.
Yes.
You're giving off big Macklemore vibes.
And that's what I did when I bought it. I was like dancing through the thrift shop, pulling things off hangers, just like, sliding on a cart through the aisles.
I'm sure winning.
Also, real quick, this is a shirt by a brand called For You. I owe them a video, and I promise I'll do it. I know it's been 6 months, but I promise I'll make a video.
I'm in the same boat.
Yeah.
I have people who've sent me stuff, and I'm like, I'm making a video for you.
Yeah,
it's coming. I feel terrible. This
is very relatable to people. We're like super relatable. I'm sure everyone here gets stuff sent to them in exchange for videos.
No doubt, dude.
So, do you want to talk about some epic fails?
Yes.
I don't know if this is an epic fail. It's somebody leaving. It's somebody moving on.
Epic
Tom,
fail.
yeah, epic fail. Tom Ford. He's retiring. He dropped in his last collection, which isn't even like a collection. It's an archival drop of, I guess, his favorite pieces from over the years of his eponymous label. But he sold to Estee Lauder for 2.8 billion with a B dollars. So there's that.
Blink, blink, blink.
I don't know, dude. Do you think we should give the quick lowdown on Tom Ford here, and then talk about his exit?
Tom Ford is an American fashion designer
Mm-hmm.
who is known for his brand Tom Ford.
Yes,
And
I love that this
okay, so
succinctness of it.
Tom Ford studied art history at NYU to get his undergraduate. When he went to get his master's degree, he attended Parsons School of Design in
Oh,
Manhattan.
the Tim Gunn School.
The one where they have the big statue of him up front
Right.
and it says "Make it work."
Right.
At the time, Tom Ford is quoted in saying, "I spent more time thinking about what the people were wearing rather than the buildings," because he was studying architecture, but he didn't want to, it turns out. And instead, he would try to do internships and just tell people he was studying at Parsons, and they assumed it was a fashion degree, but it was really an architecture degree. TLDR.
He was like taking after Virgil Abloh.
Yeah, big Virgil Abloh
Yeah.
vibes. Yeah.
Okay.
He was like, I want to be like Virgil Abloh when I grow up.
Yeah.
And that's why he did that. And Tom Ford made his first real big splash when he was appointed the creative director of Gucci. At the time, it was a flagging brand. Gucci, when was this? Like the late 90s, early 2000s? I'm not even sure. But Gucci wasn't the same brand that we know today. It was.
If you want to know more about this, incredibly depicted in the film House of Gucci. So, boof.
Ooh, burp. I thought they did not include Tom Ford in that movie.
No, they did.
They did, really.
They did. They did the audition and the first runway show and
That's interesting because maybe I should watch relevant movies to like this field. Because like for a period of time, Gucci, like the company, was kind of upset with Tom Ford. They were kind of like, I don't like him. He wasn't apparently Gucci has some kind of museum, I don't know, in Milan or something. And for a long time, they didn't have anything from Tom Ford in there.
Really?
Deliberately. Yeah.
So here's one. The movie, obviously not good. You can go to Rotten Tomatoes and find that out.
Oh,
like, really? As a movie, it's not good.
I thought people enjoyed it.
But there's some interesting stuff in there, like that I honestly didn't know. If you're to believe the movie at all, it definitely feels like there was a kind of tug of war within the house with like the heritage side and the fashion side, you know?
I think that that's real.
Yeah.
Also, I think that it is real that Lady Gaga is a member of the Gucci family. Like, I assume that's all documentarian.
Yes.
Stuff.
Yeah. Fly on the wall style. Yep.
So needless to say, Tom Ford was appointed to the creative director of Gucci, and he crushed it. He took a brand that had lost its luster, and he injected his own joie de vivre, but he made Gucci essentially feel luxury and desirable again. One of the big...
Money isn't everything, but you can... The story is told through the fact that even now, Tom Ford Gucci stuff is marked up like crazy. Like if you're going through the eras at resale of Gucci stuff, Tom Ford stuff still super valuable, then dip throughout, the years after, and then back up in modern times.
Yeah. And kind of his aesthetic that he established was very glossy, very kind of like sexualized, and very premium luxury feeling, which in a lot of ways he basically transplanted in his namesake brand. So Tom Ford, the brand, has been known for its like glossy aesthetic. It's like sexual advertising, and it's a very luxury feel in price tag. So that's the dude. That's the guy. He's an iconic American designer and iconic American director.
So he's leaving. That's the end of the story. He's leaving. And I feel like there are a million directions we can go here. We've been kind of, doom posting about the recession upcoming and the indicators within the industry of that. You could go there. You could talk about, is it right for him to exit? Should he go somewhere else? Should he do other things?
I mean, the thing is, and we were talking a little bit about this beforehand. Sorry, guys, I'm dying. Let me aside.
Literally, yeah.
Aside,
We're starting a
I
GoFundMe.
still don't have a job. I'm still deeply depressed. Like before I came on, I was like, Kelly, I hate my life. But then we turn the cameras on. I'm like, hi, everyone.
The camera fixes everything, okay?
So I apologize for any coughing or any what was I saying? Oh, Tom Ford. So Estee Lauder's buying Tom Ford. He is hypothetically leaving the brand as the creative director. He's no longer going to be responsible. What is Tom Ford going to do now?
Right.
He's like a middle-aged man. He's very hot. And I mean aesthetically, like he's a hot guy.
Sure.
He has money. I mean, he's kind of done it all. He was like we talk a lot today about like this kind of musical chairs with designers and how like, a hot designer will like revive a brand. He was essentially the first to do that. He was like the first guy to do that. And ever since Tom Ford, they've replicated that process.
Yeah.
So he's been like creative director of Gucci. He's been creative director of his own brand. James Bond wears his suits.
True.
Which is, kind of peak.
But then you've got the other side, as Suchio says, I still need another Tom Ford movie. Also a film director, a very
acclaimed,
very quite well respected one. Like his stuff came out, they're kind of like prestige movies. They get big stars. They're pretty well reviewed.
He get but didn't his one of or both of his movies get nominated for like Best Picture?
I think so. At least
I think so. And it's like, I mean, the dude has pretended to be an architect, pretended to be a fashion designer. When he pretended to be a movie director, you would assume somebody who's good at one thing isn't really going to be good at another thing.
Sure.
Like Michael Jordan tried playing baseball. He was not good at it. Tom Ford tried directing films, and apparently he's very good at it.
You know what? Is that what's happening? Is he being like sanctioned? Like, did he maybe not pay some taxes or something and he's going to jail? But everyone's kind of agreed to keep a crowd like, hey, just like Michael Jordan, he wouldn't play basketball. You're going to just retire for a couple years, okay? While you serve your sentence, pay off Uncle Sam, then we'll bring you on back over,
That's totally possible. I don't know. I mean, like, it could be like Tom Ford's like, I'm done with the fashion game. I'm just going to be directing movies.
Yeah.
It's also like, and this is something I think we've talked about on the show before. What compels, like, what drives people who have succeeded?
Yeah.
I wouldn't know. I've never succeeded.
Either. But what I've noticed, like, all of these people are like hyper high powered, type A driven. Like, it's the only way generally that you get to that level. And what I've noticed,
they don't smoke. They do everything right. They're always employed.
They're driven by power, Christian. Yeah. And what I've noticed from the few times I've come across like hyper high powered people like that is that that's what they care about. And if they lose it, they, it's not the same for them. So he's been to the top of the mountain. Yes. By our upcoming podcast guest,
doing something mean to it. Do it better than anybody you've ever seen. Do it. Screams from the haters. Got a nice ring to it. I guess every superhero needs his theme music. No one man should have all that power. This is a audio.
This is what we do. Podcast, it is an audio show, so you got to give the people a little something.
I gotta
for the drive to work.
Yeah, I've got perfect pitch and. I've got a flow. I've got a flow. I spit straight bars.
So if I had to guess, I think there's two directions people like this go. Either he goes and tries to climb a different mountain, such as film, and tries to like really crush that. Or the other thing I've noticed people like this do is they're like, I'm so good that I'm gonna start back from nothing and get
like they're like undercover boss or like that
Yeah,
one thing where it's
exactly.
like, I'm a billionaire and I'm gonna show how easy it is to be rich by
Can I
starting
go?
over.
I have to go on like a super tangent right now. I'm so
Okay.
sorry.
Sorry,
Um,
audience.
a person that I worked with was on an episode of Undercover Boss
Oh
back in the
yeah.
day. He was an executive at a company that I worked for. Um, I knew him well, but after I watched this episode, I could not look at him with a straight face anymore because there's a scene in the episode where he gets locked inside of a cooler, like a food freezer, and the
Oh my
guy that
god.
he's working with, his name is Ephrain, and he's inside the freezer just going, Ephrain, Ephrain, because he's stuck. So,
Damn.
I guess that's what you
Sometimes,
don't want
yeah,
if you're
sometimes power
doing
is in
that.
everything. I mean,
Yes.
I guess I agree with you, Killian, because I assume that like if Estee Lauder bought his brand and like the fragrance brand and the fashion brand or whatever,
Mhm,
they spent like $3 billion on it.
mhm.
Tom Ford must own a significant portion of his
Yeah.
namesake label. Let's just say he has an additional hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah. Very
You don't
believable.
have to do anything. You don't have to do anything ever again.
Yes.
But I don't know. People don't take advantage of that. They
Yeah.
just keep on going.
But I mean, I
Um,
think basically, to put an end to this, I think we'll know pretty soon, one way or the other. He's not going to sit still. I don't think he's either going to say, get an announcement like, "Hey, I'm going to start this brand or work for this brand," or I'm announcing that I've cast this big star for my next movie. You know what I mean?
mhm.
We're going to find out soon enough what he's doing.
No doubt, no doubt, no doubt, no doubt. But that's the Tom Ford news. If
That's
you
Tom
like that
Ford
Tom
news.
Ford news, let us know in the comments down below.
Hey, it'll be a clip on the channel, so you just watch it again, even if you're here
Yeah.
live. Watch the clip.
And also, as an
Hmm.
aside, commenters, let me know what you guys thought of last episode. We
Oh yes.
basically we let two randos off the street
Uh-huh.
hijack our podcast.
We did. We did that. That did happen. And
Yeah.
I think, for my part, I found it very interesting. It was by far the hardest episode I've ever had to cut into clips because it was
Oh
just
yeah,
kind of a big, you know,
a big
stew
wad.
of back and forth ideas. But I thought it was interesting.
I mean, I once again thank you both. Thank you to our
Yeah.
participants. They
Yeah.
were delightful. Killian,
Yeah.
show me, Killian. You are my servant. Bring me another news
I
nugget
got you.
for
I
me to
got you.
muse on.
So,
Oh,
there are certain things that feel like they're specifically designed to make normies mad, right?
mhm.
And this is one of them. And this is gonna be a familiar tune to some of you out there.
I can't believe it.
Christian's mad. Christian's getting pissed at this headline.
I'm
Okay,
so pissed.
it's
You're telling me a brown paper bag costs $2,000?
indeed,
Look at what
indeed.
Democrats are doing.
So here's the thing, Christian. Here's what's gonna blow your mind. I know, as an angry internet commenter, you don't even read the entire headline, but let me help you out here. So it
Okay.
says Bottega Veneta's $1.9 thousand brown bag ain't made of paper.
Blink, blink. But it looks like paper if I'm stupid, even though
Yeah,
I can clearly see the other side of like calf leather, like the suede side, in the inside of that bag. But I'm simple. I see brown and rectangle, and I assume it's made out of paper.
yeah.
But you're telling me.
For the listeners, there's no branding at all. It's just brown. It looks like a bag you get when you order takeout or go to the supermarket and they don't have plastic bags anymore. You know what? It's
Yeah.
a brown papery looking bag, but it's leather. And are you having deja vu here a little bit?
Well, Killian,
Yeah,
you said, "Oh, this is a Demna thing." That's what
I
you
did.
initially said.
That was the first place my brain went. It's
And
true.
I went, you simple fool. Only Demna? This goes so much deeper than you could possibly imagine. So Demna has done a lot of like epic bags, like the
Mhm.
trash bag he did. So on screen, we've got a picture of like basically it looks like a typical white trash bag with red handles, but you look at it for any amount of time and you can tell that it's actually a white leather bag with red handles that is meant to kind of look like a trash bag. It's a commentary, you
But you
know.
make
It's
it commentary, right, on what is luxury. Can
what
something
is
that
luxury?
evokes the image of a trash bag or a paper bag still be
hmm
luxury, right?
Yeah, it's Duchamp's to urinal.
Urinal, exactly. But keep
Uh,
going, because I was reprimanded,
this goes
rightfully so,
deeper.
for
This
referencing
goes
just Demna
deeper.
here. Right.
I a million years ago, I once had this conversation with a coworker who was a manager at Margiela even 2 million years ago. And I said, the first person to do the luxury paper bag, I thought, was Jill Sander. So pull that up. So Jill Sander has kind of an iconic round paper bag looking bag. It's not actually paper, guys. It's like I think that one is either a canvas
I
or
think it's
leather.
canvas. Yeah.
Yeah. And
A very affordable 290, by the
yeah, I
way.
know. If that's like a re-release, I mean, I would. That's like a piece. If I was Tom Ford rich, I would, and I bought things just to have in an archive. I would
Right.
buy one of those
Sure.
because it just is kind of like an iconic piece to me.
Mhm.
But this guy I was working with, who used to be a manager at Margiela, said, "No, Margiela did it before Jill Sander." And so now we can do a little tippity typey. We can see that turns out Margiela has plenty of examples of this kind of trompe l'oeil, this trick of the eye type of stuff, where you've got these luxury bags and luxury materials that vaguely look like
This might be
pedestrian
the one, because
bags.
this one is
Yeah,
Maison Martin Margiela, which
yep,
means
it
it's
might be.
old.
And it's not that expensive, guys.
Honestly,
That's a pretty good price.
360.
And the reality is, and we're looking at an old Margiela bag that's a leather bag, but it kind of looks like a paper bag. I think it's also totally possible that Comme des Garçons might have done this first, actually, of
Yeah.
all of these, because they have done, like in recent memory, they did the Comme des Garçons. It was like polyester or like a polyurethane, like see-through bag with like a paper inside. But I think they've done that. They did that like years earlier. I don't know. People in the comments, let me know. Do you know who did this first?
Give us the history, honestly, because it goes back.
And we got Ao Ming from last time.
Okay.
And I apologize if I can't pronounce your name. I'm stupid. He said he thought it was Jill Sander too.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
That would have been where things ended for me as well, I think.
Well, maybe it's the most iconic one to some extent.
I think that may have been because it was, I feel like, at that peak time where takes started happening online, like social media, Twitter, like that was fully up and running.
Like, I have a take.
Exactly. Yeah. So I
have a take.
I think that may have been the Jill Sander one, the first one that released in the era where it could explode in that viral way, where normies could find out about this luxury product that doesn't look luxury and cause this kind of
Like,
uproar in a way.
Oh no, society's flipped
What?
upside down.
Yeah. Right.
You can't do anything new. You can't do anything different. Never trick me. Everything has to be the same. Men are men and women are women. Clean your room. You should be like a lobster.
So I think I actually have a video coming about this I've been working on, about pieces that
about that.
Not just about that. I actually should throw in a mention of that, but it's about about designs, because most people think of like fashion as it's supposed to look good, right?
It's supposed to look sexy.
Exactly. But
and
what
art
about
is supposed to look pretty?
Yeah, but what about designs where being good, quote unquote, isn't the aim, but it's about asking other questions, like what is luxury, for instance, something that you did in a recent video.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, Killian, are you telling me that it is perfectly not only acceptable, but maybe desirable or appreciated for a designer to create something with other purposes than just to be the normal pretty thing. That is blowing my mind. It's
Yeah.
unacceptable. And
this is honestly where I kind of landed in it, is that you've got the normies who won't accept any of it, right? Unless it
yes,
just looks good. That's the most they'll accept. Then you have fashiony people who will accept the avant-garde. They will accept things that are supposed to be challenging and pushing the limits of like design and craftsmanship and things like that. But then I feel like there's another level that even within fashion hasn't fully been accepted yet, which is like the post-ironic side, the side where it's not supposed to look good. It's not even being challenging or forward thinking in terms of the way it's made, but just the literal idea of it is like, what is this? You know?
maybe I do know. And Killy and I have no interest in having serious conversations on here.
Yes.
But I have been formulating a new philosophy, a new lens and ideas
I like it. Okay.
that goes past postmodernism.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not ready to reveal it, but I believe that sincerity and earnesty might be a part of it. It might be the je ne sais quoi, the zest, the thing that we crave today, and that one day our media will be understood to reflect. That we have passed a period of irony or a subversion of the past, and we are only interested in things that are truly earnest and authentic, because we've lost everything. We've lost connection of life.
It's actually blowing my mind right now. We did not talk about this beforehand. I'm not sure exactly what I say in the video, but towards the end, literally a thing I say is something like, my prediction, the next trend is earnestness.
We didn't talk about this,
We didn't talk
dude.
about this. No.
We're just on the same wavelength. Next nugget of news that you have for me, Garcon?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
And what are we drinking tonight? I have a dogfish head.
We got a tangerine claw over here, okay? That's how we roll. So speaking of you being a bit of a I don't know, fashion Svengali, you know, or maybe just a really like forward thinking kind of guy. As usual, I was scrolling High Snobiety, okay? And I saw something that made me go, I feel like I've seen that before. I feel like I've seen somebody, some sort of forward-thinking Svengali say something like this before.
Pull it up.
All right.
So High Snobiety has this new post that's like, why is everybody wearing these one sneakers? And I'm guessing that the whole article, other than kind of referencing, I mean, everybody knows that these sneakers are popular. Killian, it was my understanding that High Snobiety is taking my low, like small soles is going to be the next trend thing. And this is like, High Snobiety, for whatever reason, is cribbing my ideas. And it's not like, I know things are in the zeitgeist. I know people talk about things. I can't imagine that I'm the only one with these insights. Of course I'm not. But it just feels like High Snobiety is taking my ideas. And when I apply
a week or two after
I apply for the role of social media manager at High Snobiety, and they do not hire me. They don't even tell me they're not interested.
Why hire you?
Take my ideas.
Why hire you when you make the videos for free, Christian?
God, dude. So what can you tell me more? Tell me more about this.
Absolutely. Okay. So High Snobiety, they say, why is everybody suddenly wearing Adidas Gazelles? You mentioned in a recent video, you felt like obviously we were in the chunky shoe zone for a long time.
We were in the chunky sneaker era.
You know, the Balenciaga Triple S and Prada monoliths and Rick Owens Mega Tooth, like all that, right?
And everything Rick Owens made for a while. Yeah. And of course, the Fila Instigators or whatever they're called.
Oh, yeah.
That we all wore.
Every last one of us, yeah.
There is a picture, even though Killian and I just met the other day, there's a picture of the two of us a few years ago modeling in our Filas with the big chunky shoals together.
We were there. Yeah.
We were both
on it. So, I mean, they rightly note that it does feel like there is this rubber band going on back towards slimmer silhouettes, specifically the Gazelles. You have the Gucci collab, which is pictured right here. Going through, you've got kind of classic right here. I think they showed these Noah ones right here, Yoji Yamamoto. So basically, I feel like there was a time, these collabs, they go through cycles of which hot silhouette. They're like, that's the one we do. Like everyone was doing Nike Dunks, right? And then it's like they move on to doing Air Forces or whatever the case is. It seems like everybody wants to make Gazelles and buy Gazelles.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
And I'll be honest with you. I usually confuse them for Sambas. I
Sure.
don't know. The difference seems limited, like small to me, but clearly, High Snobiety is not smart enough to come up with their own ideas. They take them from me. I am poor. I have been unemployed for months. Still, they steal from me. Or they could just say, "Oh, those sneakers are really popular. Okay, you're a loser."
Right.
They could say either of those things, but clearly, this is reinforcing the idea that. Well, my camera just went green for a second. This is reinforcing the idea that thin soles are the next thing. And I mean, it's easy enough, like at least for people listening who care about fashion, it's easy enough to say whatever is trendy, whatever is like the thing, the opposite of that will at some point be in vogue. It's like tale as old as time. So it's not exactly an unbelievable take to think of that, but I think it is going to happen. I think it's happening right now. Thin soles are the next soul.
But give us what High Snobiety won't, right? They're just going to say, "Oh, the people are wearing these lots." Do you have any thoughts on why that might be the case? Obviously, there's just the reactionary side of everyone's been doing this for this long. Let's start doing this. But is there
It's hard to. I mean, like I guess it's hard to say. Like I could come up with some fake answer of why this is novel because, like with Tucker Carlson being fired, it has made people start to consider how they step with their feet, and now they want to be closer to the earth. I think that there is a reality that fashion is driven by trends and kind of the way that people care about stuff. They things are interesting, and then we burn out and we become interested in the opposite. And the kind of like what I talked about in one of my videos, I basically argued that in a way, the way I see people kind of incorporating like these types of like the Sambas or the Gazettes, it's going to be with like kind of the kind of fluidity of silhouettes that we have now. Like when small soles were trendy the last time, basically, at least for men's fashion, everything was like slim. Everything was tailored. Everything was like, you gotta have slim cut. You need your slim chinos with your slim polo and your slim J. Crew sweater.
And a pair of common projects.
And you wear your common projects.
Yeah.
But guess what?
You got like the peach ones, right?
Now.
Yeah. They're on Grailed for anybody that wants them.
I would say I should take them down, but I have no money. Like I need any amount of money that I can get. And people might look at my room and say, "You've got stuff." I'm selling this stuff. I've been selling stuff. Okay. Like I guess I still have a chair to sit in. I have my iconic Vasily chair, so people remember who I am. I have my hair on my head, but and what am I even talking about? Long story short, if you want some fashion tips, I don't know why you people listen to this podcast, but if you want some fashion tips, one tip would be instead of buying those Fila with the big soles, well, to quote the Beastie Boys, "Rock my Adidas, never rock Fila," and that's the whole bar.
That's all you need.
Yeah.
You need. Actually,
that's all you need.
A surprising amount of style tips come from lyrics.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that lyric came from like the year 1989 or something.
Listen,
so
pink ass polos with a fucking backpack.
With a fucking
Everybody
backpack.
knows I brought real rap back.
Yeah. Nobody have swag. We're the Rat Pack.
I think if I had to throw my BS take out there, I do think there's like over the past couple years been this change going towards utility, right? You saw it with like Gorpy stuff coming in. Like
Gorp, gorp.
there's this trend going, I guess if you could say it, of actual usefulness out of clothes and the clothes suiting the situations that people may find themselves in.
What?
And I think I own a lot of chunky shoes. I really like them.
Mm-hmm.
They are best for looking good. They're not very useful in many real life situations. You know what I mean?
I think like the opposite usually. Like if I have shoes with a thick sole, like say I have boots with a thick sole, they're
Yeah.
usually like have like tread. That's good for like the cold northeastern winters.
But that's
I think
specific, right? That's I think more like if I'm just going to work for the day where I'm going to be like walking all around and I'm doing stuff, I'm like carrying gear and stuff. When I'm dressing for those situations, I'm just throwing on like a pair of Nikes or whatever, something that are fairly thin soled, whatever, move easily. You know what I mean?
are you Killian, are you telling me that you have a harder time moving around, moving your legs around
Yeah.
when your shoes are big?
Yes.
Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I called Killian out earlier for being paraplegic. And
Yep.
there's nothing funny about being differently abled, but he is. And
I mean, that's true. I guess I should note when I say that my legs just don't work, period.
they don't work
As you noted.
Yeah, that's what I noted when I met him. I'm like,
yes,
your legs don't work. You know, it's a great way to imagine that. Just guys, imagine that for a second. We meet for the first time. Killian is in a wheelchair, and I say something horrendous about it. I shouldn't make any more jokes.
So there's something last time people had a blast, but they were also clamoring for a certain
They're clamoring
something.
like clams.
Yes.
And that was
the Brandomizer.
The Brandomizer! Guys, this is the Brandomizer. For everybody listening, which I assume is 0 people, what we have on screen right now is a website that looks like it was designed in 2010 with a wheel. And said wheel has the name of various designers. Yeah. And the idea behind this segment is that we spin the wheel, we see where it lands on, and we talk about a designer that maybe isn't always in the limelight. I would say that if we landed on Tom Ford, we would spin again. Just throwing that out there.
Right. That's fair. We can. Is there anybody in the chat that wants to throw anything out here that would?
We might have not saved the last time that you guys gave us suggestions.
Right. Give us one more. We got to fill it in.
Give us one more.
One.
Can I ask you something, Killian? I just want to make sure we're on the same page. There's a delay, right?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
I
think it's like 10 seconds or something. Oh, Kiko Kostadinov. There we go.
Kiko at Kiko. Dapper Dan. What am I going to say about Dapper Dan?
Yeah, it's fair.
You know.
All right. We ready to spin?
Spin that wheel.
It's a fortunate wheel, you know?
Okay.
I don't think the sounds pick up. Okay.
Casablanca.
Okay. Ooh, okay.
Why don't you lead, Killian?
All right. So there's one piece that I've owned from Casablanca. I was impressed that the materials seemed nice. The construction seemed nice. It was fairly cheap compared to like high luxury brands. You know, it's kind of more at that next step down price wise, which I think is nice.
Fairly cheap. You're talking like $500 per shirt.
For a shirt?
For a shirt.
Oh, maybe I'm wrong.
I don't know. Keep going.
So but I think for me, I would put them in a similar category to where I mentally put like Versace, where it's just like I can respect what they're doing, but it's so not for me aesthetically that I just kind of write it off. You know?
No doubt, no doubt. I would say at least about their aesthetic, and to kind of give people an idea.
Yeah.
I mean, my relationship or like my understanding of the brand, which is why I was kind of doing eyebrows about it, was all I know about Casablanca, the brand, and not the movie, is that they make shirts. They make like short sleeve camp collar shirts.
Speaking of, give me 2 seconds.
I will. Um, and to kind of give you an idea, more or less, these shirts are typical. Oh my god, it's my idol.
Yeah.
It's the person who I love the most in the world,
Tell
Jeff
to tell the
Bezos.
listeners. Yep.
We got Jeff Bezos. His head bald as ever. He's got sunglasses in the shape of hearts. It
Yep.
is nighttime in this picture,
Mm-hmm.
and he's got a very tight Casablanca shirt on, apparently,
Yeah.
and some like babe, some arm candy.
That's
I
the babe
guess.
that ripped him away from his wife.
Oh dang, he lost a lot of money over that babe.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't want to say that because actually, what I know about Jeff Bezos' original wife is that she helped build the company. She deserves every
Yes,
penny.
I agree.
So this is the brand of Jeff Bezos, my idol.
That's the aesthetic. Yeah.
And to give you more context, the shirt looked like it was silk, and it was in a vibrant kind of geometric pattern. And a lot of Casablanca's shirts and other stuff is like in really vibrant patterns or prints.
Yeah.
It's kind of reminiscent of the collection that Prada did. I forget the name of it, but remember when they had
Yeah.
all those boxy camp color shirts that everybody on Grailed would like kill their grandmother
The
to get?
split ones.
Yeah, and it's like you saw
Yeah.
what's his face? Jeff
Jeff
Goldblum would
Goldblum.
wear
Yep.
them. They were the perfect fit.
Yeah.
They were very expensive. Casablanca is in some ways reminiscent of this because there's similar fit and kind of a similar, like really loud,
Yeah.
like a Hawaiian shirt that's not a Hawaiian pattern.
It's like like White Lotus type shirts.
Like from the people who brought you White Lotus,
Mm-hmm.
the HBO show, comes Casablanca.
Exactly.
Let me say this though, because you initially said it's not my bag, baby.
Yeah.
And honestly, I would wear one of these shirts. I like no reservation. I like these shirts. I would wear this.
Okay.
Do I typically wear things so vibrant and
Yeah.
dare I say garish?
Mhm.
No, but for one, I don't know how to shop for the summer. I have
Right.
like a sweating problem. I
Mhm.
don't know how to dress during warm weather, and
Mhm.
like really great shirts are few and far in between for me.
Yeah.
I would love to get a really nice shirt, and something about this makes me think like, I don't know, let the shirt do the talking. You know, like
Right.
like I can look like I could look like I'm a regular Jeff Bezos type, like
Right.
billionaire.
Can
There
I?
is definitely something very
Yeah.
loud about them, kind of Palm Angels ish.
Yep.
What were
I
you gonna
think so.
say?
I think like even Gucci does a lot of this stuff, like the kind of bright monogram, like an orange and a blue in this like satin kind of thing.
Yeah.
It feels very luxurious in that very like loud luxury type of way, you know?
And we're about to enter the era of quiet luxury.
Right. They're out of place. So I think there's absolutely a place for it. So I would never talk down on Casablanca in the way that I would like a Philip Plein or whatever, you know
Which
what I
I would
mean?
talk down on immediately. Yes.
Exactly. We have and we
Stop.
will,
Yeah.
but it's just the garishness, I
It's
guess.
I mean,
You know?
dude, let's just do a reality check for a second.
Yeah.
I came in here in a sailor's outfit, like I'm ready to be
Yeah.
deployed. I'm a real man's man.
Right.
You're wearing a fur coat that Mrs. Wayne was murdered in.
Exactly.
And you're telling me that you wouldn't wear something garish.
So there's
Checkmate.
different types of garish, okay? there is pulling off a vintage rabbit fur coat. Thank you very much. And then there is the Versace Baroque print. Those are two very different garish. Okay.
Yeah. Maybe we should just like live like a Miami lifestyle and start dressing in like a Miami people. Like
There
we're
you go.
like we exist inside of Grand Theft Auto Vice City stories, you know?
That
And
is
we're
where
like
Casablanca lives.
yeah, that's Casablanca technically is a made up brand in the Grand Theft Auto universe.
Yeah, you go to the Pay and Spray, and then you hit the clothing store where you buy Casablanca.
Caroline knows somebody who is, and I don't want to disparage people or talk about people, but she knows a person, a colleague who is a writer for the background stuff in the next Grand Theft Auto.
There you go.
So, like, you know, like when you crash a car in Grand Theft Auto, some guy is like, "My car!"
Yeah.
Somebody writes that. Somebody's job is to write those. And you know, it sounds like I'm being like, "Oh, what an idiot," but those are funny. Those are like some of the funniest background things in any video game.
I remember very early on, I was just out of college. I worked on a short film. Yeah. And the star that they got for the short was the guy that played Trevor in GTA 5. And I was basically like, I was like a producer on the film as much as a producer can be. But basically what it meant in practice was like I was driving people around all weekend. So I was basically this guy's chauffeur for the weekend. And he was giving me the lowdown on all the GTA 5 happenings without being able to say what it was. But he was like, so I'm doing this thing and I'm doing a lot of motion capture.
I wind your
company. And it's for this video game series that's like really big. And yeah. Basically
what
gave
could
every
this
hint
guy
he possibly
be
could.
Doing?
Yeah.
This guy who's immediately recognizable from a video game specifically. Right. Yeah, that's interesting. That is curious. I would have assumed that you had him in your car and he just did like dialogue from like some quest. And he's like, we gotta go to this place.
I mean, in retrospect, that's basically what it was, right?
It sounds like
take me back to my hotel.
Yeah, exactly. Wild. So what was the name of that film? Did it win the Academy Award?
It was called Disgrace. He was the male lead, but he also had a son in it who was a guy who's in a lot of stuff now. He played young Louis in an episode of Louis, who was the star of an episode of Louis.
Louis, you're gonna die. That's so
great
cool.
show. No, not controversial at all in this day and age.
Controversial. I mean, I probably made this joke before, but if you asked me in high school who were my favorite comedians, I would have been like Louis C.K., Dave Chappelle, and in retrospect, I'm like, all my heroes are assholes.
Hey, Bill Burr is still chill.
Bill Burr was always controversial. I guess
exactly. Yeah.
Like, if somebody's like, he's canceled, it's like, I don't think you can. But like then there's also like John Mulaney, I would have said.
True, yes.
And he falls in and off the wagon, and that's
Fred Armisen.
Fred, don't say that he's bad.
Just do some Googling. That's all I'll say.
I don't want to. Come on.
Should we chat with the homies?
Yeah. Hey, homies. I would love to get like feedback. Like, honestly, here's like just like an idea. What do you think is like? What are you enjoying this? Is this good for you? Feedback.
Tell us.
We want some honest feedback right now. That's
take it.
Like, I got Bill Cool.
Bill Cool. That's our
Bill
feedback.
Cool. Or any other questions, any fashion blanks.
Yeah.
I'm blanks. I know you like it. I'm making this show basically for you at this point.
This is great. Listen, this is all we needed.
Listen, if you think it's so great, then why don't you make 10 of your friends watch the show and then get 10 of their friends to watch it?
That's how it works. Listen, we'll give you some product, okay? And if you sign other people up to sell that product, you get a cut of their sales, and it's this new concept. It's called a triangle
Yeah, it's called
consortium.
triangle marketing.
Yeah.
We did get an actual question. I don't know how
Okay.
you pronounce that brand. Autolinger?
Autolinger, I think.
I'm familiar with it. I just don't know how to say those words.
I'm
So,
aggressively unfamiliar.
and this isn't just because they use some of the same models, but I have thought that it's like Ekaslata,
Oh yeah.
Ekaslata. It's like aesthetically very similar, and
Yeah.
maybe I would be embarrassed if this is like a diffusion brand. If I find out that
Oh,
this is just a
we
diffusion
got to
brand of
know.
that. But it definitely is. It is very reminiscent of Ekaslata in kind of cuts and the materials, and not just because they use similar models or like some of the same. But that's like my first take. And I mean, I
Okay.
think that there's something interesting in that. I mean, these pieces are pretty cool. It's all women's wear, right? There's no men's
Oh,
wear.
is it?
I think so. That's what I thought. But it's not like nah, it's two women. That's what we got. Okay, so we've got a tip from our favorite Meng. I think
Okay.
the easiest way of getting big as a pod is got to do a lot of clips. Well, first off, don't bring up throwing fits or failing upwards or whatever the hell they're called. Okay, don't bring them up. Secondly,
How dare you?
they were on Barstool Sports.
Mm,
So maybe what we need is connections in media.
right. Right,
Hmm.
right, right, right.
I would say that I could help us out, but I've been fired from every media job I've ever had. So I don't think I have any connections there.
Apparently, we're doing a great job on the clips. So,
Killian is killing it, and like I should be really transparent about the fact that Killian does all the work. And I do nothing. I do
you
nothing,
know what
guys.
you're like? So this is you were like the manager of the show. I'm like
Okay,
the
that's
worker bee, right? And I'm just like, hey, maybe we could talk about this, and then you're the guy I bring in. I bring the PowerPoint to them, and you're like, yes, yes, no,
no.
terrible, yeah,
Yeah, I'm I'm the editor. I'm the
right,
editor in
yeah,
chief,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and I'm like, this is not gonna work, Gillian. You know what I think, guys? I think that the technique, the reason that the way to get a podcast big is be famous, have
Mm-hmm.
money,
Mm-hmm.
or at least have connections. Uh, and until that day, I'm doing this for you guys. I'm doing it for all yous.
I feel like that's what it comes
All
back to with everything. Like anytime I'm like, how did this person get so big? It's like they know people.
mm,
It's all nepotism.
nepotism,
That's not to say
money.
that nobody's talented who gets famous or whatever. It's just like talent
Listen,
and knowing people.
I would go on Joe Rogan and meet. I like that. I would do it
Oh,
like
easy.
that. But
I'd
you
be
know
there. Yeah,
what?
yeah, yeah.
I think that's something that Killian and I like when we first met over internet. I
Yeah.
tried to see like if he was like alt right or like if
Yeah.
he's like Joker pilled.
Mhm.
One thing you did admit to, not
Yeah.
ironically though, is
Yeah.
that you listened to the Joe Rogan Experience
Quite regularly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
quite
think
regularly.
quite regularly. I think if he has a
Jamie, do we have a
non-political,
clip of that?
clip it.
What isn't the guy
Jamie,
that
yeah,
like the
Jamie, the
Jamie?
Google
Jamie,
wizard. Jamie.
Do we have a clip of that? And then it's a clip, I guess, of you watching the Joe Rogan Experience.
Oh, I know Joe. Okay. But no, I think to defend myself, I can't just let this stand. Okay.
I think we should end it on that.
When
Actually,
it's apolitical, it's just an interesting open conversation. When he
sure.
does have a piece of shit on, then I listen and basically mentally debate them. Like I feel like it keeps me sharp, you know?
I don't know. I think it dulls you. I think it dulls you
I'm
to
being
have
told I'm
like
being indoctrinated, Christian.
I mean, at the end of the day, let's say we got like a brainiac like Ben Shapiro on. He'll say
Hmm.
a bunch of nonsense and things that are out of context or like
Hmm.
actually inaccurate. Joe Rogan, who is not a trained journalist or even
Right.
I mean, like his media training is Fear Factor. So
Yep.
if Ben Shapiro is not eating a cockroach, he doesn't exactly know what to do. And like, I don't blame him. I think he's
If he
meathead.
tried to throw up like a rear naked choke from rear
then
mount in jiu-jitsu, then
oh, I know what to do here.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I don't think he knows or like kind of fully understands like how to like having a huge platform.
Yeah.
As a journalist would, you would hypothetically, you need to be loyal to your audience and challenge people who say things that would A, potentially get the publication in trouble, B, are inaccurate, C, racist. And Joe Rogan, obviously, it's not
actually
it's not a skill you're born with. So
it's wildly irresponsible, his way of doing things, for sure. Also, I had no idea about this. Abby, my partner, just told me the other day that the Alamo Draft House closed, and I was like, oh, that's terrible. That place was so cool. Apparently, Joe Rogan bought it and turned it into a comedy club.
Wait, are they not going to do movies there anymore?
It's comedy. Burt Kreischer is what they do there now.
So I can't get a hamburger and watch the new Pokemon movie there?
You can't get a Mondo print anymore. Yeah.
That's a bummer. And I assume the Alamo Draft House is originally from Austin, Texas. If somebody told me that, I would believe it.
Born and raised, baby.
Ugh. Yeah, it sounds like Austin is getting kind of thumbs downy, right?
Yeah, right.
It just sounds like I don't even know what's happening there. Is everybody red pilled there, or is everybody a yuppie who moved from New York and it's like, I'm changing my life, I'm moving to Austin? Is everybody there like a sellout who moved there for the taxes? And the tax benefit is that you don't get an abortion so that they pay you.
One more crazy tangent to go on.
Okay.
So way early on, I knew a guy. He worked at a record store here, and he did the way early, I'm moving to Austin to like refresh my life thing. So he moved there. He started working, I think, at a record store down there, and bought an El Camino, all this stuff. And have you ever seen, like, scrolling on Netflix, there is an Elijah Wood movie called I Don't Feel at Home in This World Anymore?
No, but I believe that he made it.
So the character that Elijah Wood plays in that movie is based off this guy that moved there and bought the El Camino and worked at a record store.
That's interesting.
Very weird. Very weird.
Dang. That's wild, Killian.
So that's my personal experience with Austin transplants.
Needless to say, friends, we have reached the end of the show.
Indeed.
All of you, all million of you watching, cheering us on. I would like to remind you all that this is the Bias Cut. It is hypothetically a fashion podcast, and I'm hypothetically Christian. You can find me, hypothetically speaking, at Brave New Wear on YouTube, and my full name, Christian_Shabetta, on Instagram.
For my part, I am literally low luxury on all the platforms that I care to be on, such as YouTube and Instagram.
Yeah.
And with that, we thank you, our fine friends, for being here. We'll see you next time.
You guys are the real ones. And I love you.
You're the best.
I'll see you later.